You are no longer in control of me. I control you, and you are under my power. I know everything.
Stellaris Shadows of the Shroud has just released. In this video, we're going to take on the Shroud itself, because goddamn is that thing evil. Today we'll be playing as the Mind Warden Enclave. Yes, we're going to use the new Mind Warden origin to fight against the insidious forces of the psionic realm, and of course, save the universe. Sacrifices will have to be made, but every sacrifice is one I'm willing to make. Before we dive in, I need to say a special thank you to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to purchase the brand new DLC for Stellaris, Shadows of the Shroud, and also support this channel, you can do so by using our link down in the description below, which will take you over to the Paradox Interactive store. In fact, if you purchase anything from the Paradox Interactive store, as we are an affiliate, you'll also be supporting this channel. Without any further ado, let's look at the Empire we're playing today. The Order of the Silent Vigil are a bastion against psionic intervention. We're going to be using the brand new Mind Warden's origin. This is an origin introduced with Stellaris Shadows of the Shroud. It is a challenging origin that entirely blocks our access to psionic ascension, because, say it with me folks, psionics are evil, and so is the Shroud. We're going to start with the ability to build starholds and a starhold in our capital system, so it's a little bit more defensible. We'll also start with an ancient ward on our planet that blocks some nasty psionic influences from hurting our precious population. We also gain access to the psionic containment war goal against any psionically ascended empires. We don't get guaranteed habitable worlds, and there are no Mind Warden enclaves anywhere in the galaxy. That's because we're going to make them. We'll get better encryption and a 25% damage bonus against any psionic empires, as well as a bit more evasion. This means that we are in a prime position to fight off any psionic forces. We may not be able to take psionic ascension, but that doesn't mean we don't have strong beliefs. We are spiritualists. We believe that our place in creation is sacrosanct, that all life, in fact, is sacrosanct and must be protected from the false gods that exist out there. These aren't actually gods, these are just alien entities in another realm. Not just that, because of natural design, we are the pinnacle, actually, of biological life anywhere. Don't forget it. We've also taken memorialist because we believe that all life should be remembered, even if it goes extinct. Even if we've caused it to go extinct. Rounding up our ethics, we grab militarist because we believe in standing against the alien threats, and xenophile because even if they're alien, it doesn't mean they're always a threat, unless they're psionic, in which case they're evil. Diving into the anathema species, a species standing against Shroud influences, we've got enduring, we live a little longer, egg laying, we don't jump out of holes in the ground, we grow our species in eggs, seasonal dormancy, a mammalian or reptilian trait that basically makes our unemployed and denizen pops, which is our civilians, cost a lot less in upkeep. We're also highly adaptive, able to live in any environment. Yes, some of us are solitary, and most of the rest of the galaxy doesn't like our face fronds. The way they jiggle and wiggle is apparently disgusting and repugnant, but that's completely fine. We can still save everyone, even if they hate the way we look. I don't think we could be Mind Wardens without grabbing the brand new Mind Warden ship set, and honestly, this is a beauty. I am in love. We're going to be building ships that look better than anyone else's ships, and that alone gives us the right to save reality. The Grandmaster Rikiki Sha'ash is not just an official, but a charismatic one. He's going to lead the Order of the Silent Vigil into its glorious future. That is our empire. Let's dive into the campaign. If you want to follow along at home, these are the settings I'll be using today. The records of our ancestors tell of a psychic plague that once devastated Athenebia. Otherworldly forces attacked their minds, and destructive radiation was diffused throughout the atmosphere, all encouraged by psionic practitioners from within an Atheman society. In response to these direct threats, our ancestors built the ancient ward to protect against mind-invading forces. With only routine maintenance, this venerable structure has proven strong enough to defend all anathemas from the great threat of psionic influence, and its core technology has informed the development of other defenses of the mind. As our civilization prepares to voyage beyond the orbit of Athos, we are faced with the unknown. What psychic threats might lurk beyond our ken? Just as we prepare to leave our home system to step onwards into the unknown, we've discovered this potentially useful blue dust powder. I'm sure no one will ever think of putting it up their nose holes, and yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. We haven't even made it 2 months since our first science ship began its long voyage into the unknown, and an alarming situation in the system adjacent to our capital has begun. In the system of Neats, we found a dangerous energy. The crew of Arsil is suffering a range of psychological symptoms, emotional turmoil, debilitating mental stress, recurrent visions of unspeakable horror. Yeah, it's a bad Tuesday. Their fleet systems are also experiencing strange, erratic malfunctions. They are now outside of the protection of the ancient ward, and they are suffering ill effects. We've noticed that in the Romash system, well, there's something going on in there, and we will find out what it is. Yeah, there's a big old Aura of the Dreamer over here. That's a problem. Aura of the Dreamer gives hostile effects of minus 125% fire rate, minus 200% shield hit points, minus 100% evasion, minus 30% jobs, plus 100% pop upkeep and construction time. It is the devil. Literally. This is a priority alert from the Grandmaster, Ricky Kiki Tish Ash. Something's invading our brain holes.
Get them out of my head.
Suspended above the roiling current, a Nephabia ore calling. The surface twists open, a fetid miasma belches from unseen depths. And another. Ceaseless suffocating. It's pretty terrible. Right, so bad things are happening. Really bad. We need to find out a solution to deal with whatever this is. We've now got psi radiation infecting the Ets. Despite the protections of the ancient ward, this encroachment has caused our population on Athenabia to experience mild symptoms suggestive of psi radiation poisoning.
What does the dosimeter say? 3.6 Roentgen, but that's as high as the meter.
3.6. Not great, not terrible.
Our researcher suffered greatly. He is now dying of psi radiation poisoning. May he rest in peace. Except for the fact he kind of looks fine, but don't worry about it. Anyway, turns out, yeah, there's this alarming phenomenon we've noticed in the Romash system called a psionic aura. We're going to attempt to resist it. That could take some time, though. I think we'll first try and finish its xenobiological life and then get on with the next step. Around our Great Order, we found signs of intelligent life everywhere. There are ships with crews whose purpose we do not understand, whose vision seems a little dogmatic, but they're definitely out there, and we are going to try to communicate. What do you know, someone to communicate with the Codronitan Assembly. I'm sure they'll be nice. We're going to establish an embassy and, well, we can't be too careful. We'll also assign an envoy to look into them. It's not often that we have something to celebrate. Yes, we've met some giant rocks that kind of didn't hate us, and we aren't all currently dying of space psionic radiation cancer or whatever it is. But whilst the space cancer doesn't kill us, we found the alien proto-civilization of somebody on a planet we're dubbing Sol 3. They are in what I would call the machine age. Factories of mass-produced goods and vehicles, and air travel is now commonplace amongst them. They have great ocean-going vessels and atmospheric aircraft. They might make a fine addition to the Order of the Silent Vigil. We've also gotten some unexplained insights into what we should study, instructions for exactly how and what we should study. This probably has absolutely nothing to do with the psionic aura or space radiation sickness that we're suffering from, so I'm sure it's completely fine. In order to understand this space cancer that we're getting, we need to change our society, our entire approach to learning. By doing so, our best and brightest will be able to reach a completely new level of enlightenment. That's why we're picking transcendent learning. Let's go. The psionic aura has just spread to Athos. The adverse effects of psi radiation poisoning are already evident throughout the population of Athenabia, and our ship's functionality has been severely impaired. Let's just see how severely. Oh god, they're now worth 22.
It's not 3 Roentgen. It's 15,000.
Oh god. The urgency of strengthening the ancient ward is now greater than ever before. We have but 9 months to finish the ancient aura research but our economy is collapsing. Food is getting scarce on the capital world. Bad things are happening. Very bad indeed. If this wasn't enough, our first colony of Vigil on an aquatic planet beset by a magnetic storm is suffering. We have a loud minority that are behaving in a primitive way. This must be the work of the notorious arch-nemesis citizen Walpole. I mean the psionic aura. This is really bad. We've got a magnetic storm which is raising devastation. There is an extreme polar disturbance on the planet. We have no metallurgists, so this just hurts. And a loud minority calling for our heads. We've sent in the Master Curator, Liplap Trop. Hopefully, he can fix the problem. Thankfully, our tireless worker, the Master of Thought, Ipatokoto, has developed a new method for strengthening the ancient ward on Athenebia. By enhancing its psionic attenuators, the protection can be extended to cover not only the whole planet, but the entire Atha system. This research has stimulated broader study into the lost technology. We now know the link between psi radiation and the anathema mind is reciprocal. Let's build a grand ward. It's going to take 3 years of tireless work, but eventually the ancient ward will be upgraded into the grand ward. Meanwhile, on Vigil, they are becoming rather rowdy. If all of this wasn't enough, we've now met the Imperium of Atharia, and they're not the nicest. No siree. They are not the nicest at all. I'm going to close borders with them, and not only that, we're going to move our fleet to a different system so it doesn't suffer the effects of this ward. That way we actually have a defense. And if it wasn't enough of a kick in the teeth that our worlds are currently suffering radiation sickness, we found a star system filled with Gaia worlds, pristine planets capable of supporting our life. We're going to launch a quick project to see if we can move there. Okay, things are going from bad to worse. So there could be a silver lining. Vigil, which is at 50% devastation and kind of in revolt. And well, the core has been hypermagnetized. That means we're going to be able to start producing alloys direct from the ground. And there are plenty of mining districts here. Originally, we were thinking of making this a research world. Now it might be something else. Oh, good lord, the criminal underground has formed on Vigil. We are going to deploy a garrison immediately to try and deal with that. And we probably need a bit of a garrison on the homeworld as well. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Following in the wake of rising crime on Vigil, there's now substance abuse going on, and it's just going from bad to worse. We're going to move to martial law. Screw this hippies. Martial law seems to have brought the planet into line. We've employed the commander Chimchi Grib Ganache, and let me tell you, his ganache is delicious. It definitely wasn't the luxury housing that we just built for everyone that fixed the stability issue. No, it was the iron fist of Chimchi Grib Ganache. Anyway, back home on Athenebia, a grand ward has been completed. Psi radiation in the Atha system has been reduced down to manageable levels, but it still exists. This psionic aura, and potentially others, still poison the wider galaxy. Our scientists now hypothesize that the technology of the Grand Ward could be applied to the development of a more powerful Shroud seal. These massive structures should be able to suppress auras in entire star clusters. Building a Shroud Steel in the Neat system will be a significant advancement in controlling this psionic menace. So I think we're going to research that next. Yeah, we're going to do that next. Once we have finished our research into psionic suppression, we will have unlocked the psionic suppressor building. This reduces psionic aura intensity in a system, and we can build the Shroud Seal megastructure. We will need some Zro for this, but I'm sure we'll be able to find a way. It turns out the main problem on Vigil was indeed a substance abuse. There were some cave mushrooms, and they need to be exterminated. Yes, we're going to use some nuclear armaments below ground, get rid of the mushroom threat, and that should solve all of the problems. Scientist Prip Garib Ganache, definitely not related to the previous Ganache, is now in charge of the operation. The cleansing flames of nuclear fire. Perfectly safe nuclear radiation that we can wash our children with, which is of course entirely different to the evil space psionic radiation that is killing us all, because we get very, very sad or something. If you hearken your attention back to the Dacha or Halito system, you may notice that these worlds, these lovely pristine worlds devoid of any psionic radiation, aren't devoid of people. We're saying hi to our new friends, the Have Not Unified Worlds, who won't be letting us move in with them even though they have a really nice home and plenty of room to share. Pretty darn rude, if you ask me. In a desperate attempt to prevent our minds, our bodies, our very lives being impacted by these psionic forces, we've adopted a policy of enigmatic engineering. From now on, everything designed in our nation shall be redesigned by a different engineer who should change at least 4 components and then pass that design on to another engineer until it has passed through the hands of at least 50 engineers, at which point the original design is completely incomprehensible to anyone, including those people that designed it. Thus, our minds shall remain safe from these aggressive forces that would seek to invade them. Nowhere is this new system of design more prevalent than with our psionic suppression and psionic wards. We must control the spread of these auras, and we will need to construct a more powerful device now known as a Shroud Seal. These sophisticated Shroud Seals are going to be used in a manner that will gradually dissipate any psionic aura until the Shroud Seal suppresses it entirely. In both the host system and those in direct connection via hyperlane, our Shroud Seal will do its job. This research has also given credence to a disturbing theory, an ethereal realm known as the Shroud, a dimension of psionic energy described in occult texts of old. This goes in direct contravention of the Order's truth. We may be spiritualist, but our spiritualism shows us the belief that we are ourselves divine. Of course, naturally designed to be divine, wouldn't you know? And there is no realm, no god beyond what we have made ourselves here in this heaven on earth. Except for all of the Shroud pain. That's why we're going to go and kill it. We have finally built up the required amount of Dro in order to get a Shroud Seal. We're going to place it in the Neat system and also upgrade the local starbase there at the same time. While this has been happening, the Galactic community has formed in the background. We've met a myriad of other states, and the Imperium of Atharia are absolutely terrifying on our doorstep. Their fanatic materialism is a problem. It's alright though, we are building up a spy network within their space, and oh god, our shuttle has crashed on Sol. Oh god, oh god, oh god. A squadron of atmospheric fighters belonging to a local nation has attacked one of our shuttles while it was making a routine mission to the surface. We need to act fast if we are to evacuate any survivors before the pre-FTLs reach the crash site. Luckily, in this case, acting fast means within 3 years. Luckily, we got there within about a year and a half, and we managed to get our people off the surface. Our SIL managed to bring the survivors back into Order space. The nation state where the incident occurred will no doubt blame its neighbors. Apparently the area is called something like 51. I don't even know. Anyway, we're moving on. We are receiving an unexpected transmission from the Neat system. The Choir of the Dreamer have inexplicably gained complete mastery of both our language and communication systems. There's a figure on the screen, and there's a communication coming with a steady hypnotic rhythm. Far neighbors, given your non-response to direct contact, we've resorted to the drudgery of crude tech comms. This is Holgath Skarat, Psyarch of the Choir of the Dreamer. He comes with an urgent matter and wants us to forgive him for the lack of formalities. Our device in the Neat system is inhibiting the spread of the auric flow of the Choir of the Dreamer. These people are of course despicable neutrals, and yes, what could make a species turn neutral? Lust for power? Gold? Or were they just born with hearts full of neutrality? It's terrible. Anywho, they are assuming that this intolerable situation is the result of an ignorant mistake on our part. Apparently the aura benefits all, except us, and it should shine throughout the galaxy, except it shouldn't and it should end. In order to demonstrate our commitment to the greater good, they are demanding we immediately dismantle this so-called Shroud Seal. We have received no prior communication from them, and we're very, very angry. Oh, they spoke with the true voice. Had we have but listened, we would have heard the call within. We have the gift, though we choose to suppress it. They simply don't know that this aura is destructive. It's giving us space cancer, and we hate it. We cannot submit to this false prophet. Their entire shroud must be cast down. We will end it. Thus begins the Psionic War. Oh, they brought a fleet up, and it currently far surpasses our defensive system, but we have a fleet of our own. Hopefully they can arrive in time to stop this great threat. Luckily, our allies, the Condronite Assembly, have come to our aid. They are attacking on our behalf. The great fleets will not stand idle. We will place a Shroud seal in every system. We will stop the enemy here. And, oh gosh, they shouldn't have done that. They've jumped into a system with the aura of the Dreamer still in effect, and their fleets are being decimated. My lord, they simply have very little damage output, but somehow they are still winning the fight. Clearly, the Divine shines upon the Order of the Silent Vigil. With the Psychic War ongoing, the people of Sol 3 are fighting a war of their own in recent years, as certain factions on the planet have managed to accrue enough wealth to monopolize the means of production. In turn, others have revolted against the growing inequality. Now an all-out class war has broken out. It is a dark time for Sol 3. Oh, and the war ended within apparently 3 weeks. It was a very quick and bloodless revolution, and the status quo has been restored. Huzzah! The humans then seem to have noticed us a little bit. Greetings, friends.
Gana disciplinar.
Things. They are a little bit upset with us for reasons that we don't really understand, but it's fine. We're just going to pretend they're not there and move on, mainly. Okay, humans, begone. War, continue. Aha. We've now constructed a Shroud seal in Romash. Defending this seal will be crucial. It should apply pressure to neighboring systems now to remove the aura of the Dreamer. Now it seems that on Sol 3, someone has decided to preach a radical new doctrine of planetary unification. A charismatic leader has emerged. Only a small and relatively ill-equipped band of rebels stand opposed to majoritarian rule. Aha! The Shroud seal has done its work. Now, we attack. No, they're getting all the glory quickly. Yes. We have defeated them in space. Now our circles attack them on the planet below. Whilst on Sol 3, war crimes, atrocities. It's a real bloodbath. I kind of feel like we should be invading it. Aha, but we've also taken control of Blore. There's 1,000 Nagyari here, but we've learned that their psionic aura was amplified by the population's psychic interactions with this Shroud. Their texts make repeated mention of an artifact related to this being apparently still extant on the planet of Frolzak. Acquiring this object will aid us in preventing further spread of their influence. With the fall of Frozrak, the psychic war may soon be at an end. This marked our final victory against the Choir of the Dreamer. We have instituted an immediate crackdown on all psionic practices on these worlds, completely neutralizing their abominable psionic aura. In the planet's principal metropolis lies a ruined tower known as the Sanctum of the Dreamer. Once the high temple of the former empire's now disgraced psionic cult. Our soldiers describe it as radiating a numinous, unsettling presence. The innermost chamber of the structure housed a tightly sealed cocoon emanating powerful levels of localized psi radiation. Standard munitions have proven ineffective in breaching its exterior. Further investigation will be required to eliminate this potential threat for our continued safety. Let's do it. We're going to keep some armies on Frozak, of course. It looks like the rebels on Sol 3, well, they've actually won and shifted the entire planet towards egalitarianism. They're no longer fanatically materialist, they're actually kind of a bit more sensible. Jumping back to Frozak, we have finally opened up the cocoon. External scans of this imposing structure revealed it to be a highly secure receptacle designed to contain a powerful psionic entity. Despite the container's insulative layers of heavy alloys, high levels of psi radiation were still permeating through the enclosure nonetheless. A group of psionic attenuators were installed around the cocoon. When activated, everyone in the vicinity was struck with searing levels of neural distress. The surface of the cocoon then twisted, its ovoid form becoming a shifting helix. The aperture opened, and we are receiving a direct communication from... who is this? What are you? There's a wheel that's spinning. Okay, well, what is this wheel? Okay, well, why are you here? You are dreaming. Okay, what are these songs? Songs upon songs upon songs. They're from the Shroud? Yeah. And what do they want? We will not let you poison our minds. I think we've heard enough. That was crazy nonsense from the Shroud as usual, and lots of psi radiation. Mainly the radiation is the bad thing. It is likely that this thing is responsible for the psionic aura that threaten the sanctity of our minds. We can mitigate the danger it poses for now, however, it's unclear how long our devices can restrain its influence. It's possible we can harness its terrible power for our own purposes.
It is a gift.
We could destroy the abomination, giving us 25,000 energy credits, 25% happiness, 25% unity from jobs, and +1 monthly influence, or we can find a way to make use of this thing. Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the Order of the Silent Vigil will not stand idly by and allow a monstrous device like this to remain in existence. We are going to destroy it immediately. Don't worry, we have top men on the job. We can actually utilize the Dreamer to improve the effectiveness of our Shroud seals. We brought this form of patron into our reality, and we have contained it for now.
Hidden, dark and deep in the vaults, not to be used unless at the uttermost end of need.
Let us activate it. Okay, when we've activated this, it's kind of been interesting. We've now added 3 shrouded worlds within our space. That's fine, absolutely fine, not a problem. We have amassed great knowledge of the Shroud and developed advanced technologies to suppress its pernicious effects. While debating how to apply this mastery galaxy-wide, our fleet commanders have put forward an interesting proposal. They suggest setting up one of our fleets as an independent Mind Warden enclave, which would provide anti-psionic assistance throughout the galaxy. Our initial investment would fund the construction of a space station, but in return, we will receive a share of future revenues. And you know what?
I like money.
Their operational independence will allow for a larger scale deployment of such facilities. Naturally, we could make use of their services, yes, and receive back a cut of our own payments. Yes, I love this. We have selected the Tavanda system for this first Mind Warden Enclave experiment. They can provide us with a number of items. We can donate some Zro, yes. Let's do that. I think I'll donate Zro for 18,000 energy credits. Hello? We could do with a bit of help from crime. You thought police? Well, why not? Logistical assistance. Seems like a good plan. Minus 15% ship upkeep is amazing. Let's get some assault wardens. Let's hire a level 5 Mind Warden Commissioner. Expand the Enclave. And then I can pay them some energy credits to be able to make another Mind Warden Enclave. There is the first Mind Warden Enclave, isn't it beautiful? Let us form another Mind Warden Enclave. Excellent, excellent. 2 enclaves already. And then we can increase our Mind Warden Enclave capacity again. Yes, yes, we're now up to 4 possible enclaves. Beautiful. We apparently have simply no fleet whatsoever. What will we do? Let me just double check if we can hire these bad boys. 499. And they've been expanded since we were there. It would be a shame if the state of S1 was attacked by the Quadranitis Assembly, wouldn't it? Maybe the state of S1 shouldn't do that. Yes, they should fight over there, and they should also fight over here. Let me see. Maybe there should be some fighting over this way. Yes, excellent. Now we have set the galaxy at war. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The number of Mind Warden enclaves we can spawn in here seems to be, I'm not going to say infinite, I'm going to say near infinite, and that means that we can do a lot. Oh lord. Now the Order of the Silent Vigil will keep the galaxy busy with a series of devastating conflicts while we grow the Mind Warden Order across the universe. Every time we build a new Mind Warden enclave, we can then get another, and another, and another. Utilizing the Dreamer, we've actually been able to turn a shrouded world here into a size, let me check this, yes, size 35 Gaia world. Well, isn't this just magical? Oh no, the planet is going nuclear. On Sol 3, nuclear war looms. Well, I suppose we could covertly infiltrate and de-escalate. Or, you know what? Let's let them work it out themselves. Okay, no, they've nuked themselves. 90% of the population are dead, and they've regressed to the Stone Age. Oh, good lord. Oof. What remains is about 10% of the population. Actually, it's less, as survivors. That wasn't our fault, though. That was entirely their fault. They chose it. We just didn't do anything. So, anyway, we now have 4 Mind Warden enclaves. Beautiful things, beautiful things. We can now hire a combined fleet of 100,000 by simply clicking a few buttons, and then we can unhire them when we're done with them. And no one else can hire these fleets but us. And we're not done because I've increased my enclave capacity to 6. We're going to see how high we can get this thing. As we use the Dreamer more and more, it's clear that the Grand Master has become corrupted.
Sir, I'm afraid you've gone mad with power.
Of course I have. You ever tried going mad without power? It's boring. No one listens to you.
He has now chosen for us to embark on a plan to go into the void itself and destroy everything within. The universe will tremble at our wrath. I spent a few energy credit and we've rented enough fleet to do, hopefully, whatever the hell we want. Starting off with the destruction of the Imperium of Otharia. They apparently, well, they're Genesis guides, and the Grandmaster claims that these Genesis guides could one day eventually be psionic. So for the sake of all creation, we must stop them and wipe them all out. This isn't even the full might of the Mind Warden Enclave. This is but 3 of our enclaves. Oh, and now an asteroid's going to hit Sol, is it? Well, I mean, at this point, do I even... No, that's just a shame for the inhabitants of Sol 3. I'm sure they'll figure it out later. In order to breach into the Shroud, we are going to need to convert a lot of untapped psionic resources into useful psionic resources. And we're going to do that in the Imperium. The Atharian people will open the bridge for us. Asteroid hit humanity again. Now they're in the Stone Age. Woo! Again. First they nuke themselves, then they Stone Age themselves. It's not really going so well for the human race right now. Aha, I think we found their capital, this very large Gaia world. Oof, delicious, delicious. 8,000 pops, that's a high population. Very high, good job. What do they have on here? Sidmatis, Nagari, Takaras, Gudge. We won't kill the Nagari. They seem to be an important part of our economy, but everybody else, well, we've changed their default rights to forced labor. It is important that everyone contributes to destroying the Shroud. We've even managed to corner the Great Khan somewhere in the unsightly realms of not quite next to us. This fella, he might just be psionic. We're gonna make sure that we get rid of him. And of course, we get lots and lots of lovely dividends from our enclaves. How many enclaves do we have now? Well, we've got 5 at the moment, but we can hold up to 10. And we can make that number go higher and higher. Yes, technically our economy is a little bit in shambles, but that's only because I've hired too many ships at one time. Apparently, our actions across the galaxy, the proxy wars we've been starting, the tens of thousands of Tianki and life forms we've killed, well, that's a problem. They don't seem to understand our glorious purpose to destroy the Shroud. So they've declared war on us. Well, we'll just hire some more enclaves. Somehow, as well, we've ended up not at war with the Imperium of Otha, or the Calcantoran Directorate, or the true Ildaran Horde. They must have left the galactic community. It's only our erstwhile allies in the north that we are now in a fight with. So we'll just go and blow their stars up. I suppose we could start with their homeworld. That makes a lot of sense to me. By jumping, we can get there almost immediately and then just crack the star. And you know what? Let's take Lord of War so our mercenary enclaves pay us more frequently, because I love extra dividends. Since we've hit level 5 crisis, we can also share our technology, that's the level 5 crisis technology, with all of our lovely enclaves. Together, we and our enclaves will, well, we're going to bring about the end of everything. But obviously, we're definitely the good guys because the Shroud forced our hand. Remember all of that space cancer earlier? Yep, this is, we're just trying to stop that, okay? And as the stars fall, it does get just a little bit quieter. Isn't it much more pleasant? Isn't this the right order of the universe? And you know what? We stand on the cusp of godhood here. The Aetherophasic engine is complete. The stars themselves are decimated, but this is all a necessary sacrifice for the good and continuity of reality. We're sacrificing our galaxy, possibly a couple of other ones, but in doing so, we are saving every single sapient from the Shroud. No longer will they suffer from the mild effects of depression and slight miasma or whatever it was that the problem was. Look, we're the good guys, all right? And this is us saving reality. Everyone who died, of course, they'll be remembered 110%. Are completely remembered, but overall, no one is really going to be sad about this. Everyone's fine. We've fixed it. The people on Athenebia, well, they've come with us, you see, on our grand crusade into glory, where we will finally put an end to the Shroud. But to do that, we did have to go into the Shroud, and that obviously ties it all off. We're not evil. It's fine. It's fine. The Grandmaster didn't go mad. It's all fine. Don't forget, if you want to pick up Stellaris Shadows of the Shroud and also support this channel, you can do so by using our link down in the description below, or using the code MONTUPLAYS at the Paradox Store checkout. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see some more Stellaris roleplay, possibly where I try to form the Galactic Empire as the genetic dynasty, yes, we're doing Psionic Imperial cloning, just like out of Foundation, then you'll want to click the video on screen now.